Hi, my name is Casey Browning from Retroactive Arcade, and today I'm going to go through how to build our tank stick for our T-top bar top arcade. This will be in conjunction with the body of the actual tank top that we do. Both of them together make an actual bar top, which is good, but then it makes it universal so that you can have either the body for something that you have existing for your own tank stick or your own Pandora's box or your own control top that you built or have, versus this here where you can actually use this to build your own tank, your own tank stick or whatever. They are cut, they are pre-cut for a U-track trackball. I've mentioned that in the other video as well. This video doesn't take very long, but you need a limited amount of tools for it. You can just use clamps on this if you can put it together without having a nailer and stuff like that, but you definitely need clamps on this one. The reason being for that is it's very small, but if you use the cutouts and everywhere else here, you should be able to do it in a very quick amount of time. Now, with all my videos, I say the same thing. If you just watched my last one, I am going to repeat myself. Make sure you have all your pieces. Make sure you dry fit all your pieces. Make sure you count everything and do everything out of your kit right out of the gate. We build these things by hand. They are made to order as you order them, so sometimes possible things get missed. Usually if it's going to be anything, it's going to be something like hardware. Usually it's not going to be a part or anything like that. We go over them quite a bit before they go. They all are hand cleaned individually and hand wrapped individually, so we look for imperfections, things like that, so it should be QC pretty good that you won't have to deal with any of those issues. It's been known to happen here, there, wherever, depending on who it is that works that day. So basically this kit consists, I can do it on this kit because it's a lot smaller. You got 6 pieces total, and you got a bunch of cleats that are cut to fit inside the spots that we've given you here. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to build it real fast here, and hopefully you guys can follow along and go from there. So with everything that I normally do, we dry fit everything first. Just do a quick little dry fit action here. I know my parts are going to fit because I've kind of pre-done them a little bit before. Some of them have quite a bit of play in them, which is good. We do that on purpose so that you can kind of work with it a little bit, and everything should be good to go. Nothing should be force fit too much. You can kind of pressure fit some of the stuff in. You might need that little crack or that little whatever for the groove, and you need to like hammer a few things in, that type of a thing. So your basic tools are just going to be your nail gun, your glue, and a rubber mallet. That's all I'm going to need for this here. So I just did a quick dry fit, as you saw. Didn't take much effort. I'm still sitting down. Feel like a millennial, which I'm way past that, but we're good to go. I'm just going to glue the whole thing because it's going to be a quick build. Even out all your glue. Make sure that you get a good, you want to have good surface conduct on, or connection and stuff like that on here. You want to make sure that your surface area is being connected over the whole project, not, you know, in little pockets or bubbles. That would not work out to your benefit. So with these things here, I wouldn't let them sit by themselves, but you can pretty much put them in and just keep going right from the word go. Now some of these grooves where they touch, you're going to find out through your dry fit where they fit and stuff, so it's going to make life a lot easier for you, so you can do this fairly quickly. I will have to stop the video at some point in time to go get some clamps to put this thing together, but for the most part, we should be able to get right through it. Okay, so your cleats and stuff are over precaution. You don't need them if you don't have a nailer. Like I said, you can just clamp. We've built it that way so that it's ease of use. We know that you might not be, you might not have a shop or something at your disposal and that type of thing. So these things can be made kind of in your living room or whatever, what have you. I was just trying to wedge that there. It didn't want to go, so I'm just going to let it be. Okay, so when you build this and you do everything, clamp or not clamp, before you do it, or nail or no nail, you want to push all of your pieces towards the outside of your profile project. Okay, so you don't want to, there's a little bit of a gap, like 2 millimeters or so on either side, so you want to have that gap on the inside all the time. The reason being for that is that every lift of wood that we buy is off by anywhere from 1 to 3 millimeters thickness, and we can't go and change the file for every lift that we buy of wood or every sheet that we get. So this compensates for that, those variances of thickness of wood, because they're through the manufacturers and stuff, they're not always perfect. I mean, everybody would love to believe that they are, but they are not. Okay. Moving on here. I will show you the inside of this as I go here, as I need access to it and stuff. After I finish each piece, I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I want to make sure that's butt up 100%. Okay, so the other thing too is if you watch any of my videos, this is probably why I didn't say it this time, because I say it so many other times, is that the nails that I'm using are 1 1/4 inch. So you want to make sure that you do that. I was feeling underneath to make sure I didn't go through, because this cleat seemed a little bit thinner than I normally have. And the last thing you want to do is blow it out on the other side. Now this one here, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because I'm going to be putting a decal on the outside. So if it did blow out on the other side, I chip it all out. I fill it with like Bondo or wood filler or something like that, and then I can sand it off smooth, and then I cover it with the decal, and nobody be the wiser. But when it comes down to it, you know, nobody wants to do that. You don't want to. You don't want to have to fix stuff like that. I mean, it's, you know, you get a kit like this, you get excited. You don't want to break your own heart by breaking this stuff or wrecking it, because that stuff is irreparable. You can't fix that. So if you were planning on leaving your cabinet black or the finish that's on here, and you wreck that, you basically just have to, we will, you know, we have a heart, so we will send you specific pieces that you need. You know, obviously with a shipping charge and things like that, but without having to buy a whole new kit. But you know, you want to try to stay away from that, because that holds your whole project off for whatever. And as you see, we have glue all over this thing. Once that starts to dry, that becomes a big problem. And yeah, now you're not going to be able to. You'll have to scrape all that off and try to do stuff to save your project at that point, and you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So take the precautions, double check, triple check. It's not going to hurt to take your time and be patient about it. I did not spread the glue on this. I want that bead of thickness to be there, because I want to make sure it touches this. There is a gap angle on this, and I want to make sure that that they touch through that gap. And this one here is going to be a force fit for me. Okay. Forcing it a little is okay. If you have to beat on it and it's just not working for you, don't do it. You'll have to use like a, you know, you'll have to get to a table saw or do something like that to make it work. Which I think I might have to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'll grab my clamps and do all that stuff so that we can just be seamless for the rest of this, rest of the project here. And we'll be right back. Okay, so yeah, we're good to go. Piece is ready to rock. Now there's no way to get a gun in here like perfect to get it sideways or whatever. It's not going to happen, so you're going to have to just rely on these on your clamps and stuff like that. Like I said, a little bit of knocking with your hammer and stuff's not going to be too bad. It's not going to give you too many issues, but you don't want to be beating on it too much, right? As you can see, so I'll flip this around. You can kind of see where I'm at right now. So you can kind of see it's flaring out. It's doing its thing. It's going to want to do that because this is all pressure fit. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit less based off of the cuts. I'll probably adjust some stuff before you would get a chance to buy it for me to do that, so it won't do it as much. But no matter what's going to happen, we're not putting nails from here and here, so you're always going to get that flare out. So what I'm trying to get at is you want to build this fast enough for that glue to not dry. Okay, so you want to have this piece in on the top and get some clamps on this before you run into that situation where your glue's already dry, because then you're going to have to take it apart and then nothing's going to be sticking it together. It's pretty obvious, but you never know. Sometimes I gotta spell it out. But better do that than not doing it at all, right? So I usually line up one side through and then go from one to the next to the next. I don't try to hard fit it all together. You want that crunch. That's a nice sound. It's inherent to melamine, but that's just the way they go. Just take your time, be patient with it. Might pop out one side and not on the other. What I find is if you're having too much trouble with it, what you can do is you can actually put one side in, clamp it, and then put the other side in and clamp that afterwards. And then they'll just go right together. Okay, so looks like I'm good to go. Now, normally, you'd start shooting your nails and shooting your cleats in there, but I want to clamp it first. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to clean up some stuff and go from there. So I'm going to get the clamps and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so you're going to need a clamp, probably something that's at least 32 inches. This is a little bit bigger than it looks. And then just drop your clamp. You want to go somewhere halfway so that all the pressure is like in the center of this piece here. It's kind of where you want to get it. And then just slowly give it a little bit. If you start hearing crunching, bending, that type of a thing, probably want to stop. You don't want to do that. These things aren't completely indestructible, especially while you're building them. You don't want to damage it or anything like that. You also want to get your metal of your clamp to touch the project itself as well. Okay, so you want it like that. You can actually see the metal bending with the force that I've put on it. You don't want to go too far with that. This one maybe not, but I probably want to get that a little bit closer. I just don't want to be inside too much on it because I don't want this to bend on me. Okay, so just nice and snug. I'm not hammering on it. And then there you go. That's your box. You're good to go. Now, there's some other stuff here. Your console top. Now your console top has a bunch of pre-cuts to it. So the cool thing with this is in the 15 minutes you saw me do this, 20 minutes it takes me to do this, you can literally just give this 2 to 4 hours to dry, and then you can start putting buttons and joysticks and all that stuff in this thing right out of the gate. you don't have to wait for anything. Sorry, that's upside down. Goes more like that. So basically, what the deal is, you'll have on this here, you'll have hinges and stuff will come with it. Everything that you need for hardware is going to come with it. There's not much on this one. It's basically just hinges, and then you can order T-mold and stuff like that. Like I said, the hole's pre-cut for a U-track trackball and 28 millimeter buttons, so just basically Suzo hat buttons. If you want to get into Sumitsu or Sanwa buttons or a different type of trackball, that type of a thing, you could always call or email us, and we'll see, and we'll give you a quote based on that of what needs to be done to cut those out. But yeah, altogether, that's pretty much all it takes for that. So for the kit before this one, if you watch that video as well, you can see how you probably get this done in a couple of hours. It's not going to be a big deal. Just make sure you have all your supplies and all your tools, and you should be good to go. But you do have to kind of try to, if you can, to do it all in one shot, because if you don't, trying to pull this stuff apart after the fact is not the best. After this is all dried up, I'm going to take all the clamps off of it, and we'll do a quick video on how it all fits together and how it all looks. When it's all said and done, we'll wipe it all down, make it look pretty, and just kind of do a 360 of it for you so you can see it all put together. And yeah, there you go. Alright, so I didn't get a chance to show you how the actual top gets mounted on and stuff like that. So along with building the control panel, obviously we showed you how to build the bottom. This also comes with the hardware for your inserts for your joysticks. It also comes with your clips for the front of the box to hold it so it's nice and tight. You gotta reef on it to get it open, and it comes with your Euro hinges in the back. All the holes for all these things have little pinholes kind of pre-drilled on them, so you know where to put those. Now you can do one of two things at this point. We find that it's easier to do it while we're building. It's a lot harder to do it when I'm doing the video and trying to train people how to do it online. But basically, with these little clips, especially for the front two, maybe even for the back clips there, to possibly at least pre-drill the holes a little bit deeper for pilot holes, to get your screws in with a really small screwdriver, because it's a really small space. Other than that, that would be the only suggestion that I would say, is possibly put these in first before you build the box. Like put them in on the piece in the front. Just kind of a hindsight thing, but you can definitely put them on after. It's just more of a pain in the butt. So yeah, after all said and done, she looks nice and slick. It probably weighs about, I'd say close to 15 pounds, 12 pounds, somewhere in there. Once you put all your gear and stuff in there, you might be closer to 20, depending on what you put in here with power supply and that type of a thing. We designed this to fit an Ultimark U-Track trackball. Okay, so this hole and this design is set to fit that only. If we do sell the Suzo hat trackballs and stuff as well, but it takes a big, huge square out of here, and it just won't fit on these. I'd have to make them a little, quite a bit bigger to do that. And once you do that, then you know we're already getting on the big scale of a small project. So you know this is supposed to be designed to be mobile or compact. If we get any bigger, it kind of defeats the purpose. I think this is the maximum size that I'd go for a bar top for sure. But as you can see behind it, the actual tank top, when it's all said and done and completed, bring it up. I'll show you the quick options because that's the fun stuff. So basically, you've got your option for your panel and everything else. All T-mold decal looks super sweet. The option that I gave you here for the monitor bezel. You have two options. The last build, when I build the cabinet, I don't add the cleats for that. So basically, they're just the cleats that go on the side there. Your kit won't come with these if you don't order a monitor from us. If you order a monitor from us, we offer you two sizes of monitor, 19 and 22. These bezels are pre-cut to that size. All right. So the only thing that we don't really do in the kit is do pilot holes for the actual monitor and stuff there too. I mean, we might later because it is a little bit easier, but for the most part, it comes with all your hardware, all your screws, all your hinges, all your clips. It even comes with the option when you buy the Plexi Extra for the marquee and stuff, and it'll come with the marquee and the bezel for your Plexi. We'll also supply you with the the marquee mounting brackets, right? So I think we even drill the holes for you. So everything's pretty much said and done. You can put this thing together in an afternoon. And the only thing we don't provide is a decal package. So there you go. So a quick demo on the way this thing works when it's all said and done is you put all your control stuff in here. You put your trackball if you want it. You put your Raspberry Pi, whatever you want to put inside this box, or you put the Raspberry Pi in there if you want to use it all as one big setup and you're running out of room. Or you can put your Raspberry Pi, do all that stuff in here and just have the monitor mounted in there, have some power bar or whatever you want inside there, receptacle, that type of a thing. Set up some sort of switch. I highly recommend getting the EMI filter. And then you just pop this sucker off and it's nice and quick. So you can buy one in 3 ways. So you can buy it all together as you just saw it. You can buy the main cabinet, or you can buy just the control panel and create your own tank stick or your own fight stick or your own Raspberry Pi mobile device that'll go in and just plug into any TV like a Pandora's box. You can buy all the stuff you need for a Pandora's box and build the gaming station yourself with this kit. So it's up to you on how you want to do it. You can try it that way first with the console and then move up to this later if you want to put a base on it and have something to feel like your own arcade, or just buy the whole thing the way it is. And it comes with everything you see here except for the decal and T-mold. T-mold and stuff is an option. We just do not sell the decal overlays at the moment. Other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Text or email us anytime you want. You can also phone us if you were interested in getting one of the products. If you have any questions about shipping, weights, sizes, any other customizations, they are available. Buttons on the side, that type of a thing. You can just ask for those things in the email. And as times go on, or as time goes on, if we have different requests or more requests for other things that seem like they might be popular, they'll be also added onto there. It's not necessarily a work in progress. I've been working on this for over a year now. We're pretty solid and happy with it. But as things, get launched and progress, kind of listen to the people, and if they want some changes, then we might be adding those there too. So it's a little bit of an organic process. So thank you very much for watching, and we appreciate your time, and hope to see you soon.